Anybody call for in order? First time is roll call.
Alderman Fulton.
Here.
Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Austin.
Here.
Alderman West. Alderman Henry.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Next item is invocation led by Ray Gary from Cross Creek Baptist Mission.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the great day you've given to us today. I thank you for the United States, the greatest country in the world. And I ask you to watch over all of our folks who are leading not only Green Valley, but our entire country, our police force, those at EMT, the firemen, all those people that we depend on in the times of trouble and emergency. I thank you for seeing our youth here, our future. Some of these guys are going to be sitting after one of these days running this wonderful city at Green Valley. So I would ask you, God, for your blessings upon them. Few of these who are going to make tough decisions tonight, or perhaps ask you to be at least one of them, and give them thoughtful wisdom as it comes time for them to decide what needs to be done next. And we'll ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance led by Pastor Ken.
Guys, turn around, come back. Good job, buddy. Thank you, guys.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. No changes, seeing no proclamations, move on to citizen participation. We ask the citizens who wish to address the board come forward to the podium and microphone. Name and address for the record. Anyone who wishes to address the board? Seeing none. Next item is the consent agenda. I motion Alderman West to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second? Second Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Seeing no previous business, new business presentations, or public hearings, move on to ordinance. I have a motion from Alderman Arnold to approve Bill C-17-01 for second reading, next ordinance 2403. Do I have a second? Second Alderman West. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Alderman Holman?
Yes.
Alderman Johnson? Yes. Alderman West? Alderman Headley?
Yes.
Alderman Arnold?
Yes.
5-0 there. Bill B-17-02, an ordinance amending section 215 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri pertaining to the unlawful possession and use of weapons, and establishing an effective date and penalty provision.
Mayor, I move that we accept bill number E-1702 for its first reading and bring it back for its second reading by title only.
I have a motion, Alderman Coleman, to approve Bill B-17-02 for its first reading, bring it back by title only for its second reading. Do I have a second? Second, Alderman Johnson. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, I'll let Chief Starbuck and Mr. Gary talk about this. This is an update to our code based off of the state statute that was passed.
Missouri Senate passed Bill 5-6, which took effect January 1st of this year, and it drastically changed state laws regarding possession and use of firearms, and therefore, to be in conformance with that, it is necessary to amend our existing city ordinance to be in accordance with that, and that is what the bill is now.
A number of questions about this bill. It seems to go a lot further than Gene. From what I understand, the state and federal guidelines are on concealed carry.
That in the city ordinance?
Yes.
No, actually, I believe Mr. Cook, basically that is verbatim, directly out of Senate Bill 656.
I'd be glad to provide a good comparison. We could do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We do that. Just appear a lot more restricting than what I remember from my concealed carry training that what could be and couldn't be enforced after the passing of concealed carry.
This is different. This is a brand new law that was just passed last year. So I don't know when you got your concealed carry permit, but this is a new law. So it was changed again. So that may be a reason for it, but we can do a copy of it and send it over to you.
Yeah, but we need that. But also, it just seems a lot further reaching. I mean, just hearing about at the state capitol, we're looking restricting, or just taking away restrictions of having concealed carry on the state capitol grounds in the capitol, with the exception of on the floor and committee rooms. And we're restricting things even more so here. So I'm trying to reach a balance between, how far this is reaching and what I understand the directions need to be in some other areas.
I think that with respect to what's going on at the state capitol, the provisions of the Senate bill are the same for municipalities and the General Assembly and those committees. What you may be thinking of is that members of the Board of Aldermen who have a concealed carry permit, can conceal carry during meetings, but members of the public cannot. And that's the same way that it is with the General Assembly. They're listed together in those provisions of this bill.
I've heard the same deal the state statutes are posting the signs at the Capitol building in violation of the carry conceal, and I thought part of this legislation is in violation.
If it ends up going to court and some of this gets knocked down because it's in violation of previous legislation passed by concealed carry on the federal level, we may have to go back and take all this back out of our ordinances, and I don't know if I want to get into that. I'd rather wait and see where we're at here. And some of the things that confuse me is that within 100 yards of the school, which I agree, I don't want anybody shooting within 100 yards, I don't know a lot further than 100 yards. But you're controlling people inside the city limits on that. But at least 2, if not 3 of our schools backed up to county property that they can be down on school boundaries, basically, and fire the weapon. I know that's the case just to the south of me where I live, North Middle School, and maybe the same for Matthews. So when I read through this, there was just a lot of questions that I had for it, but I really didn't anyway really formulated the questions that I
Austin. Any discussion on the motion to table? Seeing none, all in favor of the table, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, item is tabled. Next item will be under resolutions.
This resolution R 17-03, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to purchase a prefabricated restroom from CXP Inc. for Butterfly Trail Park.
Mr. Mayor, we have, somebody introduce this. I'll check it out.
Mayor, I move we cover bill R 17-03.
I have a motion on the to approve R 17-03. Second. Second on West. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, this is a bathroom to replace the portable restroom that we had at the Butterfly Trail. Let Mr. Davies give you a recap of the details on this.
Yeah, Mayor and the board, included in your packet is obviously the resolution and memo from myself, in addition to a resolution approving the purchase of a new restroom by the Green Valley Park Board. And then also included is some quote documentation of the structure itself and, of course, the state contract that this particular item is on. Historically, we've had a portable toilet out at the Butterfly Trail, and each year we seem to get more and more people utilizing the trail. And in the summer of last year, the toilet that we did have and the privacy screening around it was burned to the ground, and we didn't replace the portable unit for several reasons. I'm not sure that ORI was willing to really even provide us with another one, but the fear was that it would be burned down again. And so the park board this last year and a half has been looking at more of a permanent structure to be able to provide restroom accommodations out at this facility. And one is based off of the current use of the park, but also the limitations that we have at the site now with utilities. So the structure we're proposing is a vault structure, so there won't be any water, sewer lines connected to the structure. There's no electrical. And basically there will be a toilet, and beyond that, that'll be pretty much it. This is a prefabricated restroom similar to the restroom that we put in Armstrong Park back in 2012. So this particular structure is pretty much all concrete. The walls, the roof is all textured concrete to make it look like it's a split block wall and a cedar-shaped roof. The only thing that's metal is the vent pipe that comes out the top, as well as the ADA grab bars inside the unit. And I believe the only thing that's plastic is the toilet itself. So what's attractive with this restroom for us is obviously we're not worrying about it burning down. We're not worried about it rusting out. We're not worried about wood rot. We've got almost 5 years under our belt with the existing structure in Armstrong Park. We've been very happy with it, very pleased with it. Maintenance has been really easy when it comes to cleaning it, and it's almost vandal-proof, which makes it nice and reduces our costs. So anyway, this is what we're proposing tonight, is to replace the portable toilet that we had out there with this prefabricated vault toilet, basically in the same area that the portable toilet was at. And trying to move forward to have that in place by April or May of this year. Any questions?
When you say vault, you mean ORI?
That's correct. We'd be looking about 3 to 4 times a year that ORI would come out and pump the vault structure that's in the ground. And so we would be paying them, in essence, probably between $80 to $110 per trip. We'll be looking at 3 or 4 times a year, kind of based off what we've seen with the activity in the park. It may fluctuate a little bit. But again, it's nice to have a structure like this as well for some big events like trail retreat and things of that nature.
Well, that is.
No, it would not be the same rule would apply. It's not permitted by Jackson County, the same as the residence or commercial structure. It would be, it's no different than having a porta potty out there, essentially.
Yeah, and for us, I mean, we've had a portable toilet out there for 12 months out of the year for, I believe, 3 years. And obviously, you get smells from the portable toilet as well, too. It hasn't been structure that's not the top and so forth. We've not ever received any complaints about foul smells or odors or anything like that. Where we have it positioned, we feel it's the best case scenario for visibility from the street, so that not only the public, but the police can see it from the street, the parking lot, and it's easily accessible. And again, the frequency of pumping it, and we'll have to gauge that. I mean, once we get a unit or else we get an idea of how often we'll be coming out. This particular unit, we are purchasing a solar package that actually runs an exhaust fan to help extend the structure itself, which should help as well.
You're talking, so you're not talking about 100 gallons probably, and the water potty that you have over here, you're looking at 1,000 gallons.
Liberty just put one in at Stockdale Park, which gets more usage participation-wise in a given day over the summer than Butterfly Trail does. This is their third one, I believe, that they have. Johnson County has several as well. You know, and I worked in Johnson County for 3 years, and part of it was cleaning the restrooms, and generally the smell outside of the restroom is minimal to none. It's usually the smell is once you get into the facilities, you get these kind of, and these are at parks like Shawnee Mission Park and Heritage Park, that receives 5 times as many people in a given day than Butterfly Trail would. So, I really don't think any odors or smells are going to be a problem at all.
You said, the toilet would be plastic or porcelain, or the ones we have here in the park, aren't they metal?
Yeah, we put those in, we had to because we actually have running water to them. And I guess technically you could put in a metal type structure. We usually start out with the plastic and, you know, if it becomes an issue or whatnot.
Plastic, obviously, so it's contaminated.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's fire, whether it's just jumping something in, or whether it's, you know, just hitting it with rubber.
Yeah, and we talked about that, and talking to the people that make these, there's been some discussion based off of surveys and working with the community that people have found that they're more apt to sit on a plastic toilet seat than a cold metal one. And so, from a user or comfort perspective, I think that's what we're looking at going with first and foremost.
Are you just talking the seat or the whole?
The seat itself.
Oh, okay, all right, I get it, the main component of it.
Well, no, the whole thing is plastic, from the ground all the way up top. And so when I mention plastic, I'm talking about the plastic seat, and that's why we're not going with metal. This is for user satisfaction reasons. But beyond that, I mean, if we found that we had an issue with it, we can always easily replace it with something like that. This is what comes standard in these units that they put out.
I understand things, put plastic, I mean, I can see that, you understand that. The unit itself, I don't know whether we go with that start.
Stainless steel's quite a bit more.
It's quite a bit more, but plastic can be tore out, and you put stainless steel in 6 months or a year, why not just go with stainless steel to start?
I'm more apt to try to save money on the front end, and if it's not an issue, we can move forward without having to spend any more money. If it's an issue, then we can buy something like that.
And I had mentioned before, is there any reason why we wouldn't put this closer to what we're talking about having the memorial?
Well, at this point in time, I mean, we're looking at where most of our traffic's gonna be, and that's gonna be at the trailhead. And this is where the structure is looking at being constructed. I think as we build out the park and we add more than just the memorial shelters and playgrounds and so forth, we're probably gonna have to put in a structure that has water and sewer and the whole enchilada. So I I think for what we have out there for the time being, this is appropriate. And I think if we add amenities and facilities to this site, I think we'll probably be looking at a second structure that when you go in, probably more centrally located, that has all of the utilities needed to run it. We do have limitations around the trail as far as space is concerned as well too, where we can put something like this. And that's another thing that we take into consideration. You know, we don't know the future of the Veterans Tribute out there. We know it's going to occur, but we don't know in how many years and with each phase. And if we put something that's out there in the middle, where people have to walk a quarter of a mile to get to it, and it'll be 5 years before we have anything substantial out there. And so, based off of what we're looking at right now, it just makes sense to have it right there at the trailhead where the existing parking lot is, and right off of Long Drive there.
I mean, not that I'm a good system, but we don't have any sewer or water anywhere on our property.
We have water. Because we do have a drinking fountain,
Yeah,
this is
fountain.
across the way, but we don't have sewer or electrical.
Also, you have probably with your house
Is that, you're correct.
lines on there.
And at one point in time, we looked into just getting electrical down to that west loop of the trail just for trail retreat and generators that were running and, you know, trying to get power to the vendors and so forth. And I don't know the amount that was quoted, but it was pretty costly.
Anything additional? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next item is city attorney's report.
No report.
Next item is city administrator and staff report.
Back to Mr. Davies.
Just real quick, I wanted to provide an update on our youth baseball and softball leagues. As you all know, the city is running the youth baseball and softball leagues starting in spring. We were able to open up registrations on March 7th, or February 7th, last week. And everything seems to be going pretty smooth. We have around 80 kids registered after being open just under a week. And we'll continue to take registrations through March 6th. So at this point in time, everything's going well. We have reached out to not only the Little Sports Shop, but as well as HD Graphics here in town for bids for uniform and equipment for the two leagues. So we're waiting on information from them, kind of get an idea of where we're going to go for the league uniforms and so forth. Any questions, Mr. Davies?
The only thing I have, Mayor, is just the January Board of Aldermen report. Covers all of the operations for the month of January. Do you take time to review this, get all the information that you most frequently ask for? Nothing further, Mayor.
Could you also email this to us?
Absolutely.
All right, next up, Board of Aldermen report to comment. Alderman Arnold.
Nothing this time.
Alderman Dudley.
Nothing to say.
Alderman West. Alderman Johnson.
Yeah, I was contacted by Phil with Custom Cruise, and he had a problem that he doesn't feel non-compliant with the contract between them. When I see the contract, and when I understand the situation, the vehicles are towed straight to Ron's, and there's nothing in that contract for them that I'm being towed straight to Ron's. I'd like to do the discussion on coming to see if it's resolved. I'd like to make a motion to issue, we send it their next meeting, we send the contract so it can be resolved.
Yeah, we can talk to him about that. I think if we do terminate the contract, there's legal provisions that we'll have to abide by. So, and I don't know what that specifically says, but there's termination for cause. I believe we can terminate it without cause with a specific amount of notice. Yeah, we'll start having that conversation.
From what I see of their agreement, which is part of the contract, I understand that, they're not complying with it. So,
Well, this is an agreement between Ron's and Custom Cruises. I mean, technically, if one of them is not honoring it, they would have to sue each other.
But when I voted on this, and I think, I know Yolanda and Dale both felt we voted on this as the storage was going to Custom Cruise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was my intent. And this contract here says it will do that. And if they're not doing that, Ron's is not complying with the contract. If that's part of the contract, then Ron's is not complying with it, in my opinion.
We'll visit with them, and then I haven't had a chance, if Jim was here, he'd work on it, I'd probably let him talk, but we'll visit with Matt specifically about how this impacts it. And I'll let you guys know next week what we find out about that, what action we take.
Alderman Coleman?
Nothing at this time here.
Executive Mayor report, nothing additional to add. We have to leave for executive session.
No, sir.
Ready for executive session? No one has anything else? We'll adjourn.